first things first, welcome people. We're back for another week. Of course, you already know what to do. You need to like, you need to comment, and you always got to subscribe.
Come on.
And again, as it is a new week, I asked my fellow brothers, and as I enjoy it because Big J's got a mic, so you know what time it is. My man, Dim, how are we feeling this week? You good?
Nah.
Certain man's not feeling alright. Oh, God.
Hey, United had a mare. I told you, when United don't win, it's long. The week's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, man, join the club, man. You man don't want cups.
Exactly.
You man don't want cups.
I forgot about it.
Of course. No, but you know what? No.
I didn't care about it.
No, all of a sudden he doesn't care.
I'm not giving him that. You see, every day he will remember style is important. So how is it now you don't care about your cups?
I just don't. I don't feel any way.
Even the coat he's wearing today.
No.
Look at the coat he's wearing today.
Honestly.
Look at the coat he's wearing today. Who does he think he is?
Man, this is a bummy day.
This is your bummy day. This is your bummy day.
No, don't go to Shakes. Shakes got swag.
No, but bro. Look at him and listen to the BS.
I have to back you on this one. I'm sorry.
No, but bro, listen to him.
I watched him
He said this is a bummy day and this is how he's
No,
going to
I'm scared. No, he's trying to say that.
I'm scared.
Let me tell you why you care.
Of course he cares.
Man, you've been wanting a trophy for time.
We do. Hey, it's been too long.
It's been what? Real,
since
Mourinho.
Realistic. That's the most realistic.
That's the most realistic chance you had.
This is 5 years now.
CL is not happening.
You see?
Since Mourinho's
CL is happening.
You're gonna win it.
We'll win Champions
You're
League.
Gonna win it. What happens if you don't?
Then that's crazy. I don't know what I'll do.
I'll apologise. Listen, I feel like we could win the
My
Champions
brother,
League.
you fielded a team that
I
couldn't beat.
feel like we can. Chelsea did it last season.
Cool. You lot stay there.
Chelsea did it. I hear it, but Shags, that's a massive.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
it's hard.
competition
Still.
football.
Massive mountain.
Shit happens.
FA
Shit happens.
Cup.
We'll beat Atletico and then we'll see what happens. A lot of guys are gonna knock out each other. I'm telling you, this Champions League we can do it.
No,
I hear it.
changed what you said.
We
I don't
will.
want to do it or you can do it. Which one is it?
It's the effort that counts, isn't it?
We will do it.
You will.
We will do it.
Mm-hmm.
That don't sound convinced.
Put your money down.
It's on video and audio.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's documented.
Just a tell. Not too much.
That don't sound
Actually, I
convincing.
do want to say something. You mentioned foul throws. Tell me, foul throws. They don't do foul throws anymore, innit? Because I see, they don't. I see too many mad things. Like
It happened with someone the other day, bro. He lifted his leg and they made man do it again.
seriously, in the Prem they don't. Because I see too many people just doing like some madnesses.
I
And
swear it was even a Prem game I saw, bro. It was
Yeah,
either
but
Prem or FA
I
Cup.
don't know what.
I co-sign. He's
telling
basically
I see
saying
mad throws, you know?
it's either inconsistent,
Yeah.
or they themselves don't know what really the foul throw ruling
I
is
just see
because they constantly change the
different. Like, I'm
rules.
just thinking, wait.
Yeah, how's that permitted? Like,
That's what it
raw.
is, man.
Back in my day, if I'm playing at this level, that's a foul throw. I get it.
Thinking, right.
But you know what? Back in my day, once upon a time as a gooner, I used to love a certain player solely because of his contribution to the team, his ability as well. And then I come to wake up to some news in regards to him as a brother and me as a man, us as men. Obviously, we go through this new tandem of, well, how we portray ourselves, basically, the way we communicate. Have someone in his position, someone of his caliber and his history in the sport. I kind of had to bring it up to the panel and just find out how you men feel about this. So, long story short, Marc Overmars has had to leave his position at Ajax. Reason being, and there wasn't enough detail to specifically what it was, but it's a few articles, it's practically said that he was sending inappropriate messages to female colleagues. Now, when I saw this article, when I heard the news, before I heard that part, I said, who has he harassed? I said, who has he bothered? Like he doesn't have wife at home. I say, man, first things first, because I know none of you really have any sentimental feels towards Overmars, bar Big J, but you might feel the same because obviously Overmars, he was one of my favourite players. I don't know if he was for you.
No, Overmars ruined United a few
Yeah,
times.
he did.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
Can't lie.
big game,
Yeah.
big player.
Still.
But reason why I brought him up to the panel, not based on his situation, because I know you man don't care. It's more so, let me direct it to you, man. Have you ever been in that situation where you kind of said a certain something that was inappropriate, but it was to a female colleague?
You know what? There's layers to your question.
Yeah.
I've got time. We can unravel the
So
layers.
there's layers to your question because you could say something that could be deemed inappropriate, but it might not be what you meant.
So this goes two ways. This could be an innuendo or not.
Yeah, but based on what I've seen of this Overmars situation, it wasn't woman, it was women.
That's what I mean.
Multiple.
You get it?
So if it's multiple, that's not an accident.
But then, can I ask you a question though? Because now this is where I'm a bit confused. Is it only because this whole situation with Mason Greenwood now that is coming out? Because my thing is, how long has he been doing this for, and how long has Ajax as an organisation known about this, and how much did they believe their female workers?
But even with that, you also have to ask yourself, maybe they were covering out. Maybe it came out because of the Greenwood thing. Maybe the Greenwood thing made the women speak out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
So I don't think it was a cover-up thing, because it came out. They didn't get rid of him. I think he left.
He mutually agreed to leave.
So
he stepped down. Yeah.
So the fact, that he stepped down effective immediate means that he did it.
Of course.
There's
no secret behind that at all.
It's not. He did it.
It was evidentially proven that he definitely was sending messages. I think you know what boils down to. I'm gonna be so real with you. In my imaginary head, the way I see it is, the wife picked up the phone. She looked at Mark and said, "Mark," in Dutch, obviously. "What the fuck is this?" And he looked at it and said, "You might have the wrong Mark's phone." Because obviously, man's big money. You know, when he's in them positions, it might have been his second phone. He could have just played that silly game. But then when he, maybe grabbed the phone and looked at what was really seen, he'd be like, those are the drones I was just trying to grab. You get it? Like, you weren't meant to know about that. So he had to just accept the L that he caught and say, look, it is what it is. And then he had to go tell Van der Sar and the rest of the gang that, look, wifey found out what happened. You get it?
So
like,
after Crocs,
I've just got to, wear the Crocs, grab my bags, and I'm out ski.
But this is where it
he has to wear the Crocs.
But like, this is where
it's embarrassing. This is where you have to be embarrassed.
For me, in terms of like maybe athletes, and that's athletes across the board, not only just footballers, just every athlete. So when they are like, I don't know, like let's say harassing women, or sending inappropriate, messages or whatever. Sorry. Some of these men don't really get caught because they're either paying these women out, and these women are accepting payouts, and that's another thing that's concerning to me as well. Wrong. So again, I am not saying that what Overmars or any player or athlete are doing is correct, but I also have to start asking the motive for some of these women, because my thing is, as a woman, maybe I could be wrong, if someone is, I don't know, inappropriately doing stuff, or I've been abused or whatever, I'm trying to say whatever I'm saying so this person can either get, I don't know, locked up, or something has to happen. Now, if I'm now, or their lawyers is now coming to say to me, we'll give you X amount to keep it hush, and you're accepting that, what does that say about the victim?
A lot. But I would flip that by asking you a question. This is similar to the previous discussion. Take into consideration, again, they've not gone full works with the actual specific detail as to what's being said, who it's been targeted. They just outlined it as inappropriate to female colleagues, multiple, plural, whatever's been said. It shouldn't have been said. He's a happily married man. So how I'm flipping it to you is, say, again, we're considering that, okay, maybe there could be some bribery involved, or we obviously never know how long it's been going on for, but again, that possibility of the woman being fearful of the repercussions and not necessarily wanting their name tarnished, their life to be ruined based off something like that.
And remember, you're going against somebody that's got loads of money, who can pay for the best lawyers.
Big reputation.
I'm just a worker. I can only pay for, I might not be able to pay for lawyers. You know what I'm saying? I might have to get, what's them lawyers called?
I do hear it, but again, the word integrity comes in.
Another question. Do you not feel like the clubs or whatever team, whatever, is involved? Do you feel like they know about some of these? Like,
of course,
I think so.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I would be shocked if they didn't.
Because you know what I was saying to these lot just earlier. You know, if I see Mason Greenwood play for United again,
Yeah,
you know that I'm not supporting United ever again.
Yeah, you got to boycott.
No, you know that I'm not supporting United ever again because for me, like, even though I know that by law, what we've seen on Twitter and the audio, that's never going to be used in court. That's never going to be used as evidence. Yeah, so maybe he might get away with it. Yeah, but for me, that audio alone is enough for me. If I see Mason Greenwood in the United shirt again, I'm not supporting United again. I'm just going to become a football purist. Just support football. I'm being so serious. I'm not gonna, because that means you're standing behind someone that you feel is somewhat in the right.
But this is why in that situation they've taken the actions that they have, and in the reality of it, there is no coming back. So again, this goes and flips to Marc, and it's unfortunate for Marc's sake, because obviously he left the club, he pursued a career with other clubs, made his way back to this club. For this to have been the case, again, this is now his own self-caused issue, because it's a matter of how long has he been doing it for, why he's found himself to be in that position in the first place, because it's his club is his priority.
What position was he?
Director of football. Or sporting director, one of the two roles.
That man been doing that, you know.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Them owners and directors.
I'll be real. I feel like there's no reasonable explanation for it. These men do it because they think they can, and they'll get
That's
away
it. There you go.
That's all it is. If they knew they was gonna get caught, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
What's
Do you think I can send an email at my work?
Again, what's concerning to me is that you might have just allowed Overmars just to, like,
Duck out.
Yeah, without nothing happening.
But there could be more to it. But as it stands, that's all we know.
I think,
but what do you want to happen, Sam?
I was just gonna say, with enough evidence of what it is,
we don't know the level of what he's been saying or whatever, and we don't know if it's classed as harassment or whatever. Do you understand that? And because it's been multiple women, we don't know what he's been saying to these multiple women. So, is it a case where he has to? I don't know. I don't even know. I can't say, this should happen to him, but I believe that something may need to happen.
I think the best thing to happen for him would be to lose his job. Yeah. Because I don't think it's enough for...
He don't want the people to know what man said.
Yeah, but he can just go get another job,
I'm telling you what he did. Look, I've been in his shoes, and I'm not condoning it, by the way, but I know what he did. Because obviously, like you said, like we all clock, come on, it must have been significantly... must have been significant enough for him to have stepped down before it really got out there. But he's telling all the women, look, you know who I am. I'm the one they call Big Marco. Big Marc. Oh, with the shh.
Have you seen a picture of him of recent? He's looking
big, like... Exactly, Big Marco looking like he could put Rikishi on the ground, bro. He's put on weight.
He's looking like sport milk, fam.
Hey. He's looking like he's put on weight,
he's looking like...
He's not as nippy as he once was.
He's looking very old.
Yeah, he's aging.
Also, just to circle back to what you said, Sammy said quickly as well, like the whole payouts thing, I don't think it's a thing of, cool, like maybe the women just want to accept money, or whoever wants to accept money. Some of them just don't want to relive it. They don't want to.
Okay, so this is but again, I understand that, and I'm not asking someone to relive a traumatic experience. However, then why you accept the money?
Allegedly.
I'm just talking about across the board. I'm not even talking about this specific case. I'm just talking about, I am not saying that you must now go to court to relive your traumatic experience.
What would have really
my only thing is now, why?
Sometimes they get pressured though by their lawyers and advisors. Listen.
On a daily and banging on your door. But then this is where Sammy's point is even further more important. There is a matter of the law.
Yeah.
You have within your own right. You are telling whoever you are, you do not want that kind of situation to come.
Let's be honest.
They can't knock on your door without coming at you gunpoint. That's already a crime.
That should be also.
But even your own lawyer would pressure you.
But that should show you us as well how scary our justice system is.
Yeah.
That
it's a game.
Yeah, it's a massive game. And then my thing is, and I just don't think anyone should be accepting peas, regardless of whether or not you don't want to relive the experience.
But the only thing I'm thinking is that obviously we're talking about like full players and people in positions of power and stuff like that. So someone as a victim might feel like, hey, this person has more P's, has access to better lawyers, and if it goes to court or whatever, they're more
some of them might
likely
even
to be.
think they might not
Okay.
win.
Yeah.
So let's say,
their lawyer will be like, listen, we go to court, nothing is happening. You might as well just get this P's. Again, you're still gonna be emotionally hurt or whatever, but at least get something from the situation.
I hear it. I do hear it, and maybe that I hear that.
The thing is,
sentiment.
I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, it's
not as black and white as that.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's those kind of things. It's like, I know it's not as black and white as we're like saying it now, but those things do come up into my head. I think, okay, like I understand that. Yeah, like there are women that go through crazy traumatic experiences and whatever. But my only thing is, why are you accepting this money from your alleged abuser? Then if someone was abusing me, I'm not accepting no peace. Like no matter how much you're gonna offer me, I'm not gonna accept peace from my abuser. If anything, I would want to see justice. I want to see, if anything, I know it's gonna hurt you, then I need to make sure that this comes out enough for you to start getting your sponsorship.
But do you know why that's dangerous?
The thing is, some of them will lose that anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get to. You know why that's dangerous? Because you could take your abuser to court and you could now end up paying your abuser because their lawyer was so sick. They said that you've tarnished my name, defamation of character.
Yeah.
Now you're paying me because my lawyer was so sick.
Yeah, it's mad still. It's very, very nuts. And you have to understand as well, like, and this is only, these men will probably get, I don't want to say fined, but like have to pay the compensation like that because they are who they are. Because, bro, if it's two people off the street, chances are that person's gonna do whatever. They'll probably get away with it. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Like everyday people that go through stuff like this, 9 times out of 10, nothing happens to the other person.
But that's either because the victim
ain't got the facilities.
Isn't either that or they're not coming to speak out. Because
even when some of them do, it's like, okay, how do you tax someone that ain't got money?
But forget about even trying to attack someone without money. It's all about, okay, so this is my thing now.
Yeah.
So if it was an ordinary person,
Yeah.
you're trying to get them to pay the price for what they've done. That might be, i.e., some jail time. Now, however, the flip side is if it's a footballer, you're trying to get peas. I don't really understand the correlation in that. How is you getting peas and them still making money? How is that both of you winning? Someone has to lose.
You know what? I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there are cases like that, but I don't think that's the case for all of them.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Like,
I'm just talking about
Overmars might have sent that email to let's say 50 women. Maybe 25 of them, let's say, want peace, but the other 25 might actually want justice.
No, it's true. What you're saying is right, but I'm just talking about sometimes when you see things, you just think, certain questions pop in your mind. Think, why are you really taking the peas?
I hear you. The thing is, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm just trying to look at everything, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because, again, so if it's just two randoms, I don't really know what the rules are on these things, so I'm just assuming someone who's no one might get away with it or like get a warning or something.
No, they won't. Okay, it depends.
Not get away with it like that.
It depends. It depends on what it is.
It might be nothing, but like I don't know what the rules are. If it's just like written stuff or like emails or stuff, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if people end up on the register for stuff like that, but that's the worst thing that can happen to you. End up on the register for that.
I don't think it depends. No.
So if a normal civilian done what Overmars done, what is their repercussion?
Then it's nothing. If
obviously that's what I'm trying to say. So obviously
if they're not on the register, then it's nothing.
Obviously but again, remember, it's not like to say he hasn't done anything that is register worthy unless it's let's say rape.
Harassment, bro.
I know, but remember, it's not like, I don't think it's rape, so you ain't gonna go on the register for it. It's just one of those things where people might give you a restraining order and stuff like that, but it's not like jail time worthy. But I'm just talking about the people that have actually been abused or whatever. Those questions come into my mind, like, okay, like,
I hear you.
The traumatic experience, I fully get it, but it's like, how does you getting money make it okay? Because the person's still going to the person's still going to be held up as an iconic, whoever it is, maybe. Yeah. They're still going to be making their money. People are still going to be talking about them in somewhat high regards. And maybe when their career's all said and done, you might hear this case come back up, just like the Ronaldo with Piers, when you know, he's talking to Ronaldo, but this whole case thing he's brought up.
Yeah.
But it's like, I heard that for someone like Ronaldo, that the woman, they paid off the woman apparently. I don't know, but I might have to look into that properly. But then it's like, for me, if you are an alleged abuser that no, you haven't done it, why are you paying off the woman? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I can't lie. No, if I'm a sports person and I know that I haven't abused someone or done anything, there's no amount of money I'm giving to that person so this person can shut up. I will go the distance.
Yeah. But sometimes you get bad advice.
I was just gonna
That's
say,
true. I hear you. That's true.
And I think for some people, it's just like the more people talk about it, the more.
How can I make it go away?
They don't want that. So for some of them, even though they might not have done it, they just want it to go away.
I hear you.
So it's just like, do you know, is it money you want? Cool, take it. I just want this to go away.
Yeah, see that one
Like,
there?
there's so many layers to it.
I don't know.
And also, what about the women that, so you said that they take the money. What about the women that do it to people that are broke?
Yeah, but then
they're not after money. You're broke.
Yeah, but no, but that's what I'm trying to say. They're trying to get jail time for certain man.
Yeah, but the difference is the person. The only difference is the person that done it to me was rich, and the person that done it to you is broke. We're both after the same thing.
I think on that end of things, I think it was Shags that said it. The worst thing that can happen to someone in that position is they lose their job. That's it.
And Overmars lost his job.
But Overmars can go get a new one.
So can a normal person.
That's the thing.
And so can a normal person.
No, but you're right. But okay, so in terms of, let's say, a normal person, yeah, you are right about that. But no one will ever know that a normal person might be an abuser unless.
Everybody now knows. Everybody now knows that Overmars sent bare emails.
Or unless obviously you get a DBS check or whatever. Or do you understand? But in terms of now, Marc Overmars, now it's alleged that he's sent all of this. Now, whether or not it's true or not, he stepped down, isn't it? It's not like to say Ajax fired him. So even if you want to go and get a new job, he can just say,
But people do that every day. You go for a disciplinary at your job, you know you done something wrong and they're gonna fire you. Yeah, you just hand in your resignation. I'm gone.
I hear you. I do hear you. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Like, it's a bit of the two sides of the coin is very techie in certain areas, isn't it? Like you lot are saying, it's not as black and white, but there's just certain questions that do come to my head a bit. Like, why do people that are abusers to a degree accept money? And as some sports people, if you know you haven't done it, why do you still agree to give money to people that are trying to lie on your name?
I think on that side of things, speaking for myself now, if it was me and I knew I didn't do it, I just think to go through everything is nuts, and it's just going to be bad press the whole time. It's not going to do anything good for man's mental, whether I know I did it or not.
But the main thing is just standing on knowing that you haven't done it and making sure that your name gets cleared at the end, regardless of whether or not it's.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Prince Philip.
Why?
Because he's trying to say that Prince Andrew. Sorry, I get them confused. He's trying to say that he didn't do it, innit? But now look, his name's in the mud.
No, but do you know why?
Yeah, but he did do it though.
Let me tell you why his thing.
But wait. He's trying to clear his name. He's doing what you're saying.
No, but let me tell you.
He's trying to clear his name.
Let me tell you why it's tricky for him, because there's so many celebrities that have put his name in it. Even the main woman that got nabbed with my.
But he's trying to clear his name.
I hear you, but even the main.
He said, "Let's go to court."
No, but I hear you.
He said, "I want to go to court." He said, "Let's go."
But look, this is my thing, yeah. The main woman that done it with my man, Epstein.
Yeah.
She's put his name in it as well.
Yeah, but he's doing what you're saying. He's doing what you're saying.
My thing is as well. From time, the Queen has even revoked all of your royal whatever.
Yeah.
Then to me, the Queen knows that you've done it. The Queen knows her son, so that means the Queen knows her son. So that means that lets me know that you've been doing this for years. But the Queen has just been keeping you somewhere and saying, "This son of mine,
chill.
Allow me." Do you get what I'm trying to say? But guys, hey, we just hope that these.
Sorry, Prince Philip. R.I.P.
I'm bun the whole royal family.
Hey, slow down.
Princess Camilla.
Exactly, the lights just.
Queen, should I say Queen Camilla?
Listen, man, we know some secrets in their closets, but that's for a different conversation.
Every family has secrets.
Facts. Big facts.
Shout out to R. Kelly.
Whoa there.
Slow it down.
I'm trying to test all of you today. I'm testing all of you, I swear.
Cheers, please reduce it.
I can't
Reduce it, bro.
One more time.
I'm not gonna lie, it might be one more time. Might be a straight.
Just be a straight run,
Silence, bro.
I accept that. I don't mind. I'm still gonna finish the game with my yellow card. But listen, speaking of which, because this individual, again, he's a crowd favourite. We spoke about him not too long ago. He's come to terms with something that I weren't too surprised, but it might come to a surprise for you guys because he's obviously your ultimate legend, top of the top, biggest representative of a United player. There's only going to be one real player. Now, apparently, this individual, England representative, has come out to confirm that during his long reign in playing, he'd had some drinking problems. And if you ask me, just why I say I'm not surprised, it's not shock because it is demanding. It does put a lot of pressure on you. So my question to you guys, if this was you trying to put yourselves in this position, so cast your minds back to in your mid/late teens, 16, 17 years of age, and you're playing first team football for your represented club. Year later, you get called up to the national team, so you're representing your country. Now, within this time space of you playing for your club, you get the call up to the national team, and then the rest of the years go on, and you are looking to establish yourself as a player. From early, you've been touted as one of the top talents, and you live that dream, you live that prospect. Do you individually see yourselves choosing drink as your problem? And for those who haven't clocked on, by the way, this young individual I'm referring to is the one and only Wayne Rooney.
If you had to pick one though, gambling or drinking,
I'm gambling.
Bro,
At least I can do something with it. I'm sorry,
bro.
I'm gambling.
Do you know what,
Bro,
can I
You
be
can
honest?
always
I plead the fifth.
you can bounce back.
Yeah.
When you get
No.
sclerosis, you're
I'm
done.
not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be so honest with
You only
you.
have one liver, man.
I'm choosing drink.
Sorry.
But you have to understand. No, but listen to the comparison.
I
No.
feel like I know what you're
Go on.
going
It's
to
like,
Do you know why?
yeah,
Drink is cheaper.
yeah, but your health,
Listen
but your
to-
health,
no,
your health.
No, but you see,
Your health
no,
is
but
more
you see,
expensive.
no,
Your
but
health will do it to
you
my thing,
don't
but, like, in terms of,
understand.
like, physical
Hey.
money. drink
It's
is
like
cheaper.
who?
You
Let's
d-
say Paul Merson or George Best.
Yeah, but see, no.
yeah,
See,
you
here's the
know
bit.
what?
Yeah, but I get that, but you know, look, you see what I'm now.
Say that again. Say that one again. Say that
Paul
one.
Merson
Say
or
that.
George Best.
Because I know where one man is. I know where one man is.
You're really putting him in the mud. That's your legend. That's your king.
Another man.
That man is your
still on
king,
Sky
bro.
Sports.
That man is your
Reporting.
king.
I know he's not my king. That's not my king.
So your health. That's how we say your health.
No,
big
but
man.
I'm not, honestly, Mr. Slime, you're not wrong.
Cheers,
You're
I'm
not
like
wrong.
health as well.
No, but listen, no. Let me. I'm not even trying to dispute or argue with nobody 100%. But there's levels to your addiction in gambling and
Yeah,
your
facts,
addiction
facts.
to your alcohol.
Let's say extreme in both. Let's say
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Let's
whoa,
take away the
100%.
grey
Like,
matter. Let's say
not gonna
extremes
lie,
in both.
Obviously, naturally, and it's gonna sound like mad because you're gonna sound like an idiot if you say it like this. But all right, I'm gonna risk it. This could be a second yellow card. I don't care. I don't mind.
Watch it, man.
Yeah, don't mind. No, I thought. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I already
was
put.
just a warning.
It was a winner. I appreciate it. It's my first yellow card. No. I thought it was a yellow. I thought it was.
You know when the ref gives you the warning before that's what that was.
That's what you got.
No, I appreciate it. I thought that previous one was the yellow in it. So saying nothing. Look, all jokes aside, because some of us may have already understood in terms of gambling. And there's the betting industry. There's online gambling.
Casinos.
There's casinos. Yeah.
it gets deep.
There's a whole different element of what kind of gambling you can go through, which I get, and that can really lead you to cardiac arrest. No joke.
Facts.
Alcohol, drinking, all of that, same as well. That can lead to your kidney, liver, all of that being destroyed. I feel you, but see, I'm looking at it from like my personal perspective, And I honestly, as I said, I'll take this yellow when I say this. I would rather sit there with or without a mixer of rum or any kind than to know that my money is gone. Do you get it? Like, because the level of gambling that I'm talking about compared to if I'm gonna just grab one bottle for the night.
No. Do you know why? Do you know why not? It's because, especially if you're, let's say, a young footballer, and you're just getting peas, your peas are raking in. You're gonna be blowing money fast, knowing that money's coming again. Now, you see when you're drinking.
That might affect your performance. That might affect your career.
All your bags are affected. No one wants to work with you.
Oh, that's facts. And on top of that as well, is that what is so scary about maybe like some alcoholics or people that drink is that some people, you will never know if someone's an alcoholic unless the person. I mean, you see it yourself when the person now comes, because there are some real people that will just under the closet alcoholics that will drink, and you will high functioning alcoholics. You understand? So I would rather me blow my peas knowing that it's just that one spin that might get my peas back. I'd rather do that rather than go and buy a drink, come back home and sit down and just be drinking. That's crazy to me.
See, but you know what? You know how you described it? This is why it's difficult. And I'm not, again, listen to me very closely. I'm not justifying you being an alcohol. I looked at it from my perspective and I get why you say it. It's no wool of my eyes. I can't now swap it over and change.
But we're saying this personally, as not personally, we're saying this as a professional footballer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So considering that, that's what I'm saying. Like, man's looking at it from a point of view where, like, obviously I didn't need to go into detail because he said that I'm going to. Man's looking at it like, cool, I've got my P's in it, and I'm a pro baller. I'm young, but whether it's on my ones listening to Janet Jackson or
actually, do you know what? No, I hear what he's saying.
Or with my people.
Sorry, wait,
no.
Do you know why? You actually. Go on. I hear because now that I'm actually just deep in what you're actually saying. Like, you know what, a drink, unless depending on how much of a drinker you are, remember, drink only cost like £20.
Yeah,
like
cheap.
how much
whereas
are you?
Gambling is expensive.
How much are you really spending on alcohol and how often? Do you get it?
I hear
the argument here again is where it stems from. The amount you spend on that alcohol, you really need to go ham on that.
Yeah, I hear it.
And man's not trying to do that.
With alcohol, there's no actual benefits. At least if you're gambling, there's a chance of you winning. More people that become addicted to gambling because they've actually.
The house always wins.
Okay, but
the house always wins.
But again,
but at least
you have to also remember as well.
There's no thrill in actually.
You also have to remember.
No, man.
You see, for that, okay, that so if we're talking about the case of Wayne Rooney, and now that it's come out, he was a drinker. Now, my thing is that yes, Wayne Rooney, like Chin has said, came onto the scene very young. So again, he's making trial and error as he goes along. You know, we've seen him. You know, talk. We've heard about him. Is it having sex with a prostitute? Him
with a 9. He had multiple situations that had come out.
Like him cheating with his wife and all of those things. Yeah. So I do understand that he thought, you know what? Yeah, let me just get drink to flow out. Because to be fair, he can't go and smoke weed or anything because again they will get tested. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I understand how the whole drinking thing could be a thing for him. However, now remember, like we've always been talking on many other of these episodes about, so what are these clubs doing? Do you understand? Even at a certain time when this is Wayne Rooney, that when Wayne Rooney, maybe when he was drinking, this is probably when he was Wayne Rooney, like winning Champions Leagues and leagues after leagues or whatever. Yeah. Now it's like, what are your representatives or the organisation as Manchester United Football Club doing for you? Do you understand? Because again, even when this whole thing was coming out with sleeping with this person or cheating on his wife, we're still seeing Wayne Rooney kick ball. Yeah. Did
he mention how he got over it or anything?
It doesn't specify.
So like we're still seeing him kick ball, go training or whatever. I don't even think I even remember any reports saying, oh, Wayne Rooney's taking time out. Do you understand? Like I'm seeing like again, no disrespect, respectfully to some of these footballers now, man are allowed to take time out for useless tweets. Do you get what I'm trying to say? When there's real things happening in my man's life where that could ruin his family, kids not really rating him. Do you understand? Because everything's out on the paper. Your kids are going to read. Now, going one step further for your kids, how's that going to feel for your kids going to school? All of these things. So many things could be happening for him. But it's like, what are these organizations doing for these athletes? Because everyone demands so much from these professionals, but they don't really get anything back in return apart from peace.
And you know what's sad? They only ever do something once it becomes public knowledge and it's in the news and the limelight. Yep. That's when they suddenly, let's bring over Paul Gascoigne to Tottenham and let's look after him and bring him back.
And at the same time, is it their duty?
It is.
Yes.
100%.
It is. It is.
What do you
I'm
mean?
just asking. I'm just asking.
Shake,
Because
you know what?
I'm just
You know
asking
what?
here because if I was working somewhere and I had a drink problem or something like that, is it the duty of my workplace?
Do you know why it is? Do you know why it is?
I hear why you asked that.
Unless it
100%.
affects their
Wait,
brand.
no, it
because
does.
you
No,
get
no,
in trouble
100%.
to the
No, but it
club.
does.
100%.
But it does.
Unless it affects the company directly or something.
No, but
like
it does.
that.
Okay,
That's the
but
only
let's
way
be
that they
no.
would possibly
The
step
reason
in.
why, let's say
I
at the
get what
time,
you're saying, but it does.
If I come in, if I'm drinking the night I'm finished and I come into work and I do my job, I'm good at my job as well.
Nah, my manager
They
needs to
might
come.
say-
Manager needs to
wait,
come and
wait,
speak to you.
Maybe
and
they
try
might
and-
say a little
wait.
word, but
Let me put it to this perspective in a way where it still has an effect on representatives. Remember, and me also, remember the time when Ronaldo came to sit down for a press conference and he ushered away the Coca-Cola? Just small-ish like that. But going back to the main bit to make it make sense, yeah? See, say it's about that professional player and let's say it's Rooney, yeah? Now, there's one thing about clubs that they really, 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 really are adamant on. It's representation. And if the club has their own club sponsoring, for example, and a player has now gone and done something with a competitive brand that's partnered with the club, this all falls under contractual agreements and they have to now go into in-depth details as to what that player has done in ways where will they now potentially be sued by the club or whatever. So then going back to it, will you now look at the personal effects of a player who's at home or wherever drinking? Even got to think about it. Like, I'm looking just in general. The way they stated is that obviously he was young, he picked it up from young, and there was a lot of added pressure, whatever. Okay, club parties, like teammates were having parties and all of that. How was he in that environment?
Facts.
How was he in that environment?
True.
Was he getting that liquor, or was he realising, no, I can't do that in front of the
Or
people?
was he going overboard?
Do you get it?
And
Because-
also, let's say you are working somewhere and you're saying, is my employer responsible? The reason I say they should be responsible because if you do something outside of work, and it's like, I don't know, unlawful, you can get fired for that.
Yeah, facts.
You didn't do it at work.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's like I work in a school, right? Yeah, and let's say like, I don't know, 2 students do something mad outside of school, but in school, they come and speak about it and I hear about it or whatever, and it's deemed safeguarding worthy. I have to go and say it.
Even though it happened
Even though
outside
it
of
happened
work.
like- So therefore, it's a
in
duty.
those-
Remember,
in those
it's
examples.
duty of care. So as of Wayne Rooney
the
is
same
been
thing.
represented
It was.
by United of whoever it was at the time. It's their duty of care to make sure that he is okay mentally. It's their duty of care to make sure that they bring in professionals to help
To give him the right support.
to give him the right support. So if that means you have to now take him to I don't know, one of those AA things where you have problem drinking, that's their duty of care. Do you understand? So if they're just looking at Wayne Rooney, he's just being a lad, then that's a lack of care on the company's part. Because remember, they'll be quick, like Jerry's saying,
When it gets out into the
of
news
hand
and that.
to drop you, but they've had their steps before that for clubs or whoever to try and help this person. Now, if these clubs put these things in place and the player was still acting up, then I can understand them saying,
cool.
I'm
Yes.
done.
Yes.
But if they've never done anything, then that's their
You're
issue.
also
yeah, you're also to blame for this person's downfall as well.
I don't know. I just feel like I can't see these clubs, especially in this day and age, not kind of offering these kind of services or something like that. Like in this day and age, I guess maybe back in the day, maybe like when Rooney was playing, it was different a little bit. I'll say, because again, even back then, I feel like even drinking just in general was still part of the culture.
You say that, yeah. You say that, but I swear Crystal Palace are the first Premier League club to offer aftercare for releasing.
But
you say that, but there's only one.
That's different.
You know what's so funny that I was literally about to say when you said that you don't believe it. I believe it because I was about to just say that point of. Because when it comes to academy, man, remember we've seen
you get released and that's it.
We've seen youths kill themselves overthinking that.
I'm not talking. That is aftercare. That's technically they don't have to do anything.
No, they
because
do.
You're not in the club. You're not in the club anymore.
No, but they
no. I'm just saying. But I'm talking about four players that are actually in the actual like.
But this is what I'm saying. Before
I feel like they do to an extent do stuff.
But can I just say something?
Wait. This is actually gonna bring up his point.
Can I just say something?
Which is gone.
Which is even before, because remember. Players or academy players will know maybe, I say 6 months beforehand if they're not going to get a pro or not, maybe to a degree. So within that 6 months, remember you're still, let's say for instance it's Arsenal, you're still going to be an Arsenal player until those 6 months end, in it, right? So within that time, these clubs should be helping you, maybe trying to help you find clubs that are maybe looking for players, maybe even if it's League One, League Two, or get the word around or whatever, or again, maybe your agent should be talking with the clubs and thinking, what's the next best possible move for this person? I think that those kind of things should happen because, again, there's bare talented footballers that have never made it.
Yeah.
That to be honest, that should be, on the pitch. We should be seeing man kick ball. But again, because that duty of care in terms of certain academy players thinking, I want to be at this club forever. Remember, there are certain kids or certain academy men that have been with one club from the age of 8 to 16, 18. And then in their mind, they're thinking, I want to get a pro because I was captain, I was this, I was that. Then for it to all be, pulled under the rug from you and you don't know where you're going. Now, that's where I think duty of care and aftercare teams should really be working.
And if you could do that to kids, they can do that to grown adults.
Facts.
100%.
But again, I'm just looking at it as I feel like they protect their assets. Technically, if you're out of the club or on your way out of the club, you're not really an asset to them. But a player like
you're still
Rooney,
representing them until you're not.
Yeah. Because again,
But the kids that we're talking about are the kids that are out of the club, basically they have been released.
Okay, but see that boy,
like
that kid that killed himself for not getting, I think, a pro at City. Yeah, it's like, now, how does that look from the outside?
That's a bad thing.
For me, I'm thinking to myself as a teenager, like, if City want to give me a trial, you are gonna go to a City trial, of course you will, but you're thinking to yourself, am I gonna sign? Is it something that I'm gonna get a contract for? Is it something where they're gonna see longevity in me? Because if something as dire as that, a player getting released and there was no like aftercare or anything, and the person's killed themselves, that's an issue.
Definitely.
But even though as well, I will put the same responsibility on parents. It's not only just clubs, it's parents as well, because parents do have to do their job in terms of if you know that your kid is detaching themselves from everyday life because of football has really got its chokehold on you because you're not going to make it as a pro, then it's down to the parents to also put that time and effort in your child to be like, you go again, let's go again, kind of thing. So everyone has a part to play in the duty of care of whatever player is. Even in terms of Rooney, like United, or is it whoever, if it was Everton or United, they had a duty of care. His parents had a duty of care. His agent has a duty of care because you're the person that's also representing Wayne Rooney to go and get these deals.
100%.
So if you know as his agent, you're seeing this guy is not
Drinking
okay,
and just
drinking, he's doing all of that. That's your duty of care as an agent also, to be like, I'm right now the kind of closest person to you because I'm working very closely to you. I don't think what you're doing is smart. We need to help you go to a rehab center and we need to, figure out a way to get you back to your best physically and mentally. It's just all about that duty of care from everybody. But as well, I think clubs do have a lot of, especially for the kids that have been at clubs from young, I think they have a massive duty of care for the kids that have been at a club from knee high to 18. They've basically spent their whole career at this club, and then for it to just
end like that,
it's crazy.
No, I hear that.
To just follow up on it before we move on to the very next special part, and again, it's for me to draw back into the statement that Sammy mentioned, just so I can kind of hopefully answer that. Remember, and it's not me saying it like I'm aware or know, because we have to really take into consideration this information has come to our knowledge now. We don't know if the club knew about this. We don't know if agents knew about it. So my point in bringing it up is, again, how much of this drinking problem was an actual existence to other people, bar his wife and himself. Because to me, that's who I believe would know.
It must have been a problem for it to come out now.
It must have been a problem, but for it to have been held off throughout his whole career and come out now, that in itself is a problem more than it could be seen as a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because man played football for nearly 20 years.
You know what's crazy? He was probably so sick here that we couldn't even clock it.
That's
to
the
get it.
thing.
Because that's what people had. Well, no, I can't vouch, because I wanted to say that's probably what people saw with George Best, but man was drinking publicly. Like man actually grabbed he had drinks and pictures. He was taking a piss.
Yeah, but you know what it is as well. The reason why is that the George Best thing is very techie, is because the time when he was playing football, that man was still drinking.
That's what I mean. Like, that era of football was
not whole.
They were working class. As a footballer, you was a working class man. You weren't getting paid peas like that.
Again, I think that the George Best and some of these
maybe Gascoigne might be a better example.
Especially even Gascoigne. I think even Gascoigne and George Best and these kind of things, I think it's very similar. They're very similar. It's just very Gascoigne is very fortunate enough that he's not 6 feet under yet. And I hope that he isn't anyway. But I think it's just down to that whole thing of being a star, being an iconic person, knowing that once it's all done, your name's forgotten. So it's that thing of, again, players don't know how to deal with that as well. So where's the aftercare for that?
It's crazy, you know.
You understand? So even after, again, so then even this question now is that when players are coming to the end of their career, knowing that everything's coming down to a close, no one's going to be speaking about you week in, week out, is whose duty is it for them to now get ready for the next phase of life? Is it them? Is it the clubs? Is it the agents? Is it your family?
I think it's collectively everyone. But I would say the club.
Or PFA maybe.
100%.
Player Football Association.
Yeah,
they play a part in that.
All these things that.
No, but I hear what Jerry said, because to be fair, because remember the PFA is for the players, isn't it? So therefore, I think the players remember, like footballers, if that's meant to be a footballers union, each player should know how it is. So I think that maybe they should either put P's in together to start something new for these new generation of kids coming up, or people that are coming to the end of their career, to try and figure out what's the next phase of life for you. Because again, it may not even be coaching for you. It may not even be becoming a manager or a punditry. They might just want to just try and figure out something else new. But it's that whole drug of, my name was ringing bells week in, week out. Like, I was a star. I was an iconic person to some people. That's all gonna change now, because I'm coming to the end of my career, or I'm not, a first team starter anymore. I'm also becoming a squad player. Even that, do you think that there should be duty of care for that, preparing a certain man?
Do you know what?
Or is it a bit too much pandering, or like?
Do you mean for the guys that just they go from playing week in, week out
to now becoming like a role player?
100%.
Do you think it's too much pandering, or do you think that
you need to support them too? 100%. In terms of, you see with football, there's different causes of anxiety and depression, like in terms of the actual common effects in the mental health, like that in itself, and us who love football or have experience playing it, me as a player, I'm even in a situation similar to it, but it's understanding, and shout out to my coach who's like supporting me for it. But when you're playing week in, week out, and there's been changes along the way, and due to those specific changes, there could be valid reasons behind it, but you're no longer playing week in, week out. Bruv, it's no joke. When you feel within yourself, you start losing confidence in your ability. You start. There's a lot of effects in that in you, and it affects everyone differently. For me, if I was to ever say how would I have felt in that situation, I can only have myself to blame unless I knew that I could have made the change. If that makes sense.
If anything, that's the manager's duty.
Yeah.
But
like, you don't want to jeopardize your relationship with management as well.
In general, I'll say that a lot of these issues, outside movie like Jerry, in terms of there being like a association or like kind of regulatory body, even if it's the FA themselves, to like kind of handle these things. Because again, as much as we can say that clubs should be doing this thing and it's their duty, ultimately these guys are businesses, and they're thinking from their point is, I'm paying these people and I'm paying some of these players. Please go out and do what you need to do for me. Anything else, handle it. I'm giving you money, enough money for you to handle it, kind of thing. I'm not saying it's right. Again, that depending on the owners, depending on the club, they some of them are more ethical than others, kind of thing. But I'll say if there was some kind of, you know, body or like kind of, I don't know, association that could be there for like players and stuff like that.
Do you know what? Yeah, I agree with you. I think the whole PFA thing and everything, but it's just a cycle that they need to get going. I reckon once it gets going, ex-players can start helping the other ones that are coming to the end of their thing and just get it going. But until it gets going, it's always going to be a thing. Because then some of these guys, when they're reaching the end of their thing, they can start reaching out to all these other guys and be like, all right, cool, like, what did you do? How was it for you? But maybe these conversations aren't being had. But I think so. Once it does become a thing and there's something in place, people might feel more comfortable to be like,
you see what you've.
Do you know what? Let me go chat to my man and see how he dealt with it, because I know that is there. So let me see how it was for him and see if it's something I can do. But until there's an option, man's contract finished, and then it's just okay. Cool,
I might be playing a bit of devil's advocate, in some things. I just heard what you said, and that's it. It just sprung into my head. So even let's I don't know, like a player going to someone like, I don't know, let's say someone like Paul Merson, saying, "Oh, like Paul, how did you deal with whatever,
your gambling addiction?" Yeah.
My question is now, would Paul really help in terms of helping this player, or would you think, well, you've been making peas, figure it out? Because remember, I think a lot of these pundits that have kickball before are salty that they didn't get the same
money that these youngsters are getting now.
But and you know what? You're so not far off from that. But because of how, like, you threw that situation in that scenario, I think the heart in Paul, which probably is hard to find because of his size, but I think the heart in Paul will think like, you know what? I didn't have that support, and my thing was self-inflicted, kind of a thing. So if this is the best way I can help someone else or prevent that, so I can educate them, and bearing in mind he's very uneducated, he's not the smartest man. So if he could do anything, what? You don't know what time for Paul?
You don't know that.
You don't know what time for him?
His IQ might be high. You don't know.
You sound like these pundits, bro.
Listen, see you man there, see you Paul Mercer, this is all you man. You somewhat. You wake up on a Tuesday and come chat to me. I got time for you.
I was gonna say something mad.
I got time for them, man.
Differently as well, I think the people that could probably help it now are the like players that have been like forced to retire because of like injuries and stuff. I feel like those are the people
I believe
that can get something going. So you've got example now. I wonder what's going through I do think about him every now and then. I wonder what's Aguero doing every day.
That's mad. Like that is.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Family time.
Family
time. But in terms of his profession,
even away from family,
what's he doing? I know.
Man's thinking, okay, cool. Man done at City. I've just gone to Barca.
Man was training just a few weeks. Man was training just a few weeks ago. It was only just a few weeks ago.
Do you know what the craziest thing is? Maybe for someone maybe like Aguero, and all of these guys, it might be a bit refreshing for them because they might get to spend more time with their family.
100%.
Yeah.
However,
But they won't see.
It's
like
gonna
that.
come a time where you
They
wanna
might
now.
Oh, every single day
get back
from now.
into football.
Every single day from now.
Not
he's
playing because you
burnt
can't
out.
play, but
No, to be honest,
you have to deep. Like,
I know the
even
feeling.
You get more time with family, but then your whole routine's just.
No, you're right. No,
bitch,
you're right.
bro.
Because I felt like that when I was playing football, and then I think when I tore my ACL.
How old was you, if you don't mind revealing on the show? How old was you when the injury happened?
So I was 19 when I tore it, my ACL. Then it took me like a year, and I tried to go to do the whole like semi-pro thing, but I just thought it just wasn't. I didn't feel the same anymore. But then from like 21 to 24, I was lost. I was like thinking, what am I actually gonna do? Like, what am I? Because football, that's all I knew was football.
I was gonna say, bearing in mind at that time in your head.
Yeah, it was just
because
football.
obviously you lot don't know that Sammy is the reason why he's my favourite striker.
But so
that time was
to
like
a
you just
degree-
didn't have that support at all. You didn't even consider what else can be, and that's a lot of.
But
the
to a
issue we
degree,
have.
I understand it. Obviously, I didn't make it to the. But thinking like I've played pro a bit. I was training, tore my ACL at random. Then tried to go semi-pro. I just didn't feel the same. But it's like, so I understand it's like a 3-4 year period. I'm just thinking, what am I actually gonna do? But I feel like someone like Aguero would be okay because they might have businesses that's open.
Yeah, he's gaming.
All these other things.
You know,
is it?
the
sports, man.
You can have these things, but you still might be like,
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Bro,
different.
100%. You're right.
I mean,
He's gonna
He's gonna
have
me.
his
I
first
work
love.
with,
You know-
I work with kids, right?
Yeah.
But even a part of me feels like,
football's your first
yeah,
love.
football's my first love. Like, like if someone said to me, "I'll give you a year," that's a year, just to play pro. I'm telling this kid, I'm saying, listen, I'll see you next year. But you see this, it's important. Do you understand?
I'm saying what I'm saying because I think for a lot of, if not all of them, they get the money they get. So it gets to a point where it's not the money anymore. You know the money comes with it, so you're not gonna think about what comes with it. It's more like a okay, cool. I'm doing this week in, week out. All of a sudden, I can't do it no more.
Yeah, that's burning.
Yeah,
And it's not. It's not that you've chosen not to. You've been told that
yeah,
you
you
cannot.
can't. Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's different. It's like you can't do this anymore because this, and you have to take
Out
it.
of your hand.